Oh, hey everybody. Welcome to Start a Month. What is this month? Month 3, day 5? Yeah, I guess so. Really in month 5 of the year, and I was expecting to be working on my 5th startup by now, but working on my 3rd, and that's okay because this day's mantra is everything takes longer than you think it will. Um, yeah, this is really something I need to learn. Something I have learned at like various points in my life, and it's one of those things you kind of learn and forget and relearn, and it's just this constant like dancing motion back and forth between knowing it and forgetting it, and then suffering the downsides of like not learning it and then learning it again. But at any rate, yeah, trying to get comfortable with this idea today. So yeah, it might be a good opportunity to jump into the plan. Maybe last week I thought I would have this like email parsing thing figured out because what we're doing is we're building a email saving app essentially, and so really important part of that is like being able to send an email to my app, receive that email on the back end, and grab the stuff that I need from the email. So I'm very glad to report that we're actually at that point. We can see who the email is going to, who it's from, the subject line in plain text, body in plain text, the date it was sent on. Probably most importantly, everything is in like a closure map now, so it's really easy to work with it and interact with it programmatically. There's this concept called programming with strings. I wonder what this will bring up. It's bad. Will this turn up anything? Store certain values, it's strings. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to find anything in here that's relevant. Strings considered harmful, but any day, the basic idea is that you want your stuff in your language to conform to like the data types in that language. So the most basic thing, one of the most basic things you can work with is a string. But the general idea is that a string should contain like simple information, so like a value, for instance, like the from email or the to email. But if you look at I wonder if I could like demonstrate this. String splits, select keys, yeah, select keys. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Steps Eden 7071. Alright, so I have an email that I've sent to myself saved in this file called email.json, and if you take a look at what the body looks like, it is whack. So the whole email looks like this. This is a spec called RFC5322, and this is essentially like a plain text representation of like kind of a complicated format. So you can see there's things like little headers that kind of denote like the beginnings and ends of certain sections. There's this weird like angle brace thing going on. I think this is carriage return LF. I'm not sure what that is, but that's essentially the signifier in the spec for new line. So we've got like the opening part of the section. We have the plain text version with a declaration of what kind of character set it's using. We have 2 more return statements, and then we have the first line of the body of the email, the second line of the body of the email, the third line of the body of the email, and then after all that, we've got like another section, which is the HTML version of the email, and so this is like a div. Excuse me. This is like a div with the first line of the email, the second line of the email, the third line of the email. So this is just crazy. And you could like totally work with this, and people totally do, but it's much nicer to have this in the form of parse body. Need to get all this stuff in the REPL, don't I? I also need to load you. Okay, so this is what all that stuff works like when I pass everything through this parse body function, for instance. So that takes that crazy thing and strips out all the nonsense, and now we just get a nice vector of strings broken down line by line, and that is like a ton easier to work with. So anyway, I wanted to be here last week, but I've never worked with like raw emails before. I've never especially never done this in the context of Clojure before, so all the unknown unknowns mean that it is Monday of the third week, and I've barely gotten here. So that can feel kind of bad sometimes, but if you just kind of chill and try to be cool with the fact that everything takes longer and that's okay, then I think I'm going to be doing better. So that is where I'm trying to get, and yeah, maybe we'll get there someday. So anyway, that is where we're at, but I think I should back up and I should explain things to stream viewers if they're new. So what we're looking at here is stream notes, and the stream notes end up in my blog at the end of each stream, which is here. So anyway, what is Startup in a Month? It is a project where every month for 2021 I'm going to build and release an entire startup product. So anyway, I'm building these in like one single month, so I'm not building like Facebook or something, but the general idea is to build start a product every single month. Just kind of have an idea and build a product that is the minimal version of something you can put out into the world that would be like useful to someone as a product. So yeah, I'm going to put all those out, and hopefully eventually something will attract someone's interest, and I'll kind of discover an idea that like works out there in the real world, and from there I want to start building that out, turn it into a more featureful, feature-rich product that can do some useful things for someone and form a financial basis for me, so I can have a little business I'm running. So anyway, that's the idea of Startup in a Month. We have a blog here that you can go to check out. We have these live stream notes. We have descriptions of the products I'm building. We'll get to this in just a minute. And we also have some longer form blog posts that I've written about just what it's been like to do this year. So anyway, invite you to check out the blog. And yeah, what we're building this month is something called Mailfile. So Mailfile is an attempt to make the process of like saving information via email like simpler and better. So anyway, I do this a lot. I think a lot of people do this, where you have something you want to save and you want to just like kind of put it somewhere real quickly, right? Like you don't want to mess around with Trello, you don't want to mess around with some app that you may or may not be logged into or may not have access to on the computer you're at, so you email it to yourself. And that is like the perfect UX, right? Like everyone has email, everyone knows how to use email. I mean, it couldn't be easier. But the problem that comes around with that is like when you want to keep and reference that information. So it's like super easy to save something when you email it to yourself, but when you have it in your inbox, you start to have all your other emails pile up on top of it, and all of a sudden it disappears and you can't find it anymore. So the idea with Mailfile is that you can have that great like user experience of like emailing yourself, but instead of like literally emailing it to yourself, you email it to Steve at Mailfile or Sally at Mailfile, and then once it arrives in Mailfile, it'll look at the contents of your email, save it, and you'll have a nice taggable, organizable, sortable, searchable thing that you can like reference later. So yeah, it's the goal to combine like the super simple UX of emailing yourself with the benefits of like having a more refined way of saving that. That's not just like put it in a pile and like dig around for it later. So that's what we're building. That's who we are. That's where it's at. And yeah, you may notice at the top of the stream window, I don't suppose it's going to work, is it? But anyway, we have a Discord channel, and I'd like to invite you to come out and say hi. So anyway, if you go to startupiнаmonth.com/Discord, you'll find an invite link. And if you're like curious about the project and you want to chat with me and some of the other people who are involved in the whole shebang, then yeah, I invite you to stop by. We'd love to have you there. It's another thing I'm learning this year that community is a really important thing to have. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So what's the plan today? Now that we can get all that crazy email stuff into a form that looks a lot better, we're going to start doing the work of like actually saving this in the database. So yeah, I'm using Datomic for this, and I've never used Datomic before. So this is like my first like real world experience with it. So that's a little interesting, since learning new things is always a bit of a challenge. But I would say that I've never encountered a database that makes more intuitive sense to me off the bat than Datomic. So I'm kind of excited to learn more too. Anyway, we're going to get into Datomic in earnest. I think we still need to figure out the actual database schema of what we're saving, so that'll be something we do this time around. And if we get so far, we're actually going to start building out the front end for this, because I've spent most of my development time just trying to like create the link between Amazon SES Simple Email Services and my backend server, which is quite a challenge. But now that we got that figured out, we can start saving stuff in the database. When we have stuff in the database, we can start making a front end for it, and yeah, the proverbial cycle will be complete. So anyway, let's get to it, shall we? Got everything running. Now I need to figure something out. So what we can do is we can parse the body of the email. We've got this like demo function here, which is essentially taking what is now an email.json file and like reading it and getting all this stuff, but I want to turn that into like a full-fledged function somewhere. Don't think we need these anymore. Handlers, db, demo, don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. May need this. Handle, save email, send email. Alright, so we can send an email. We've got handle, save email. We've got add new link. Okay. So add new link was something I wrote last time. And this is specifically for like saving a link, right? So that would be like if you had a recipe or something you wanted to email to yourself, then it would save that, and it would specifically add that as a link. So we're going to have the concept of a saved item, and then we're going to have the concept of a link. I was doing some more thinking about it, and I think that this is probably not the way to go. So we're going to have like this db ident thing, and based on what I know about Datomic, this is good for performing like fast lookups of things like in Datomic. So if the idea that this is going to be a tag, and if a tag can be like basically anything, like it could be a link, it could be a recipe, it could be a quote. I think somewhere down the road, if this thing takes off, we're going to have a bunch of like user-defined like categories that essentially function like tags for each of these like saved items. And what you don't want to have is like a ton of these. So yeah, I think, well, how about we like copy that out or comment that out for now and just get to the actual saving. So we can save this at a new link, but I think until I get to a certain point, I'm not going to be able to like, well, maybe in the case of a link, I could reliably determine that it was a link, but I think for now, I just want to like save this thing in the database. Then once I've got it saved in the database, I think I'm gonna put it on the user to categorize it into something. So essentially what we want to do is add a new link, and then we also want to associate it with that user account. So let's see if we have a schema for a user. Username, a password hash, a salt, and an email. Alright, so now I think I need something like db items, user saved items. I'll just copy those to make it a little easier. Okay. So the value type is going to be a ref. I have a cardinality of many, and the doc is going to be all the items a user has saved. Refs to the entities. Okay, so that's going to be that. Saved item is going to be a ref. Then we have the saved item itself, which is going to be text. You can have one string in this entity. Right. So I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, so let's get back to core. A bit all over the place. We're moving in the right direction. Alright, so core. Let's go to handlers and put this here for now. Okay, so it's going to be parse email body. Need to change this stir splits. I also need to require some libraries that aren't in this module just yet. Don't think I actually need you, but I do need some kind of JSON library. Closure data JSON. Cool. Parse body is now called parse email body, and this should be wrapped in a function itself called call it RFC 5322 to map. Cool, so what this function does is takes an RFC 5322 email string, turns to a closure map, and plucks the relevant interesting parts of that map out for further processing. Cool. All right. So now we've got that function, and now we need to hook that function up to our post route. First, it would be useful to evaluate all that, get it into the REPL. Oops. Whoopsie. Executed something, didn't we? Alright. So this is what we're going to use in our core. At backend handlers refer RFC 5322 to map. This is more like a... Yeah, let's handle save email. Ah, okay. Yeah, so change of plans, we're just going to expose this handler function in that route. Okay. So we have been logging the requests, or rather we've been logging them and saving them to a file. Okay. Alright, so test right, don't need you anymore. Request logged. Okay. So how am I gonna like test this? So we'll get that back in there. Handle save email. Let's disconnect you. From the database temporarily. And let's just call you post invalid forward your token. Oops. Alright. So we're gonna wrap defaults. Oh man. Invalid anti-forgery token. Let's get unroot, send the request body okay back. I don't think we're actually using any of these, are they? Just restart this. Post to save email status 403. Ah, right. Not using app anymore, we're using router. Oh, hello. I'll save email. Ah, we disconnected it, of course. Disconnected it from the database in the function, but we did not kind of require that function into this file, so we had an old reference. Or at least I thought we did. Yeah, we saved this, save email. We're not calling that anymore. Up here, require it in the router, require that there too. Now you should just log, I think. Yes, okay. Okay. I vote we rename router to app. So that makes a little more sense to me. There we go. Now theoretically we can call app and get the same results. Yes, okay. Okay, what do we do now? Got this in a form that can just we can call from the REPL. So, right, handle save email. This should take the request and scrape out the email. Right, so it's gonna be like let body get in request body. Is that believe that's where we were sending it in. Post body. Now saving it in like a JSON object, but what we really get is just this. Got the post body. But I need to do that crazy stuff on it too. Okay. So the body is going to be the results of calling all that. Body of the request, not the temp request. The recoding of UTF-8s. Kind of IO reader on it. We also need Java IO. Get you in there. Okay, so that's what we're gonna call in real life. Although, this is not what we're going to call right now. Because this requires us to receive a request. Well, can I send a request? I can send a fake request. Yeah. Probably faking this as far up the tree as I can go is a good way to go. So, if I change this from like JSON to like a closure map, email.clj. Yeah, it's not that bad. This, not email.json, but email.clj. Yeah, so there's a map. Body is going to represent the body of the request. Now, maybe what I can do is I can say like, I can just write this as a module, right? Def demo email. Get you in the REPL, you're okay. But you're not on the class path, so let's just put you into the app. Call you a demo email request. Alright, demo. Dashes and file names. Can never remember. Alright, demo. Email refer, demo email request. Okay, so we got that. Send out to post. And then the post will be, instead of those params, we're going to say body. It's going to be the body of demo email request. Cannot locate demo email init class. Probably have to give you a namespace though, don't I? app.backend.demo email. Back to the core. app.backend.demo email. Will she chooch? She will. Okay. So just load all that into the REPL, and now we can go to handlers and we can say we have a fake body? Philosophical question, if ever there was one. Alright, save email. Can I open nil as a reader? Ah, email. Got the wrong key in our map. Yes, okay. So, yeah, I'm sure curious what a entire RFC 5322 email looks like. It is this. Bunch of crazy stuff, which is well formatted, but apparently inconsistent depending on implementation. So this is kind of like what it looks like when you get it. Some lines end with semicolons, some don't, some values are set via semicolons, some are like equal signs. So anyway, faster you can get away from something like this and into a data structure that doesn't depend on like, you know, specific characters and specific formatting and even like specific white space. Faster you can get there, the better. Okay. Content type multipolar alternative. That's where attachments go, but we're not worrying about that yet. Is there anything that I would want? From date, message ID, subject to, file name too long. I don't think there's anything else in here that I really need. SES receipt, authentication results, spam and viruses. I think that's all we need. Okay. Cool. So now we can do like a fully fake request, and after we can do that, we can start to work on handle save email. Okay. So process string. Okay, the body's that, and email map is going to be the result of calling this function on that. So I would just do diff temporec. All right. I'll work with the temporary request instead of the actual request. And let's print line the email body instead. This gets a little tricky because I can't. Well, the stuff in a let block kind of disappears after you write it the first time. I wonder if I can do this. app.backend.core/app. Could I do this? Firstly, could I even do that? Secondly, am I getting way out on a tangent? Yep, I can do that. Okay. Is it worth it to do it here? Maybe not. Easy enough. Just switch back to that tab and call this again, right? Found exception. Temporec. Execution error. found. Oh, you know what? I think I needed all this crazy stuff when it was, yeah, when it was, like my middleware situation wasn't quite right anymore. Unexpected character R. Uh-oh. Turn path. There's still some like JSON related stuff from when this was JSON. This is no longer JSON. Body to temporary. Get email. Don't need that either. We get a map back. We do. Cool. Okay. So the email map is the result of calling this function on that. Now that we have some work to do. So I guess the first thing we need to figure out is like who sent us this email, right? Because that's going to be the way that we determine like whose user account to actually save this under. I assume that like it's always going to be inside these carrots, right? Like the email address. I could only assume. I hope. Okay. So yeah, that's our next task, right? That's let me just open up a new comment block so we can do this a little cleaner. Getting relevant info from map. So that turns it into a map. So I think we need a separate function for processing this further, right? All right. So defin get email, get sender email. That's going to be email map. Okay. So let's call it down here. Get sender email from what? From that function call. Alright, so this is going to be like as and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the from key from that. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to if I was really clever, I'd do a regex, but I'm not a clever man. So how about we do my string split trick on this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to split on that opening caret, I think. Even before that, we need to get all that in there. Alright, so once we split on that, we get the name, not necessarily interested in that. We get the email and the closing caret. So we need to string split on that one more time. Closing caret And I think that'll give us... Oop. Not lazy, returns vector of the splits. There are a lot of things in Clojure you could actually like pass a bunch of arguments to. I wonder if string split is one of them. Could I possibly... It's like the first thing I gotta do is like string split, but then I get a vector, so then I have to like map and split over those characters as well, which I guess is not the worst thing in the world, right? We're not processing 1 billion emails a second yet. Okay, and then I call like last first on that. Now give me the email. No, it won't. Because I also haven't wrapped those in the threading form. Last first? Okay, cool. So that'll give me the email address that I want. Strips out plain email from email map. Super unperformant. Probably replace when you need something faster. Cool, so we got that function. Yeah, let's promote it to a real function outside the comment block. We'll go from there. Okay, so we get the email out. Data was sent might be useful, because that kind of gets into the concept of like, when did you send it versus when did we receive it? The time you sent it and the time zone you sent it from are not going to be the time I receive it and save it in my database, and it's probably definitely not going to be the same time zone either. So, can I justify saving that? What would I need it for? Maybe sorting? Yeah, I think sorting, right? Because these things will arrive in my database at different times. I can't reliably say like you'll send one email and then another email, so that second email might arrive first, in which case things will appear in an order in the database that were different than the one you were expecting. But does that really even matter at this stage? I'm gonna say it doesn't. I'm also gonna trust the Datomic ethos, which says that data is something that changes over time, and data is something that accretes over time. Which is to say, you like acquire more and more of it, and as you acquire more of it, you can also like change it and adapt the schema to adapt your data needs to like what you currently have and like what you want to work with. So I'm not going to put data in. I'm just going to trust that I don't need date now, and if I do need it in the future, it's going to be easy to add and integrate into my flow. So yeah, let's do that. Okay. So now that I've got the ability to strip the sender email out, I think my next task is to not paste these things in the wrong spots. Cool, okay. Okay, email map is going to be that. The sender email is going to be the result of get sender email on that. Yeah, everything else I can just grab from the object directly. Okay, so now I save these in the database, right? Do I have the schema I need? I've got a user with an email. So that's how we're gonna look up the user to save these things with. And I have another property which says saved item. It's a ref to one of these things. So I think I should probably get this working on a REPL basis, and then I can hook it up to handle save email function, and then I'll know that what I've got is going to work for a real request. At that point, we can send real emails to ourselves too, so that'll be fun. Okay, so do I have my database stuff in here? I do. Okay, so we got the URI, we got create database, and we have a connection. I think I'm gonna need to transact this new schema in there. Okay. So let's load all this in. Saved item schema. User schema has changed, saved item schema is not. Alright. Alright, I think that was successful. Yep, we have an updated time index, we have a before and an after, and we have what I can only assume is our new schema item, which has been saved in there. Alright. Now we figure out how to do this. Alright, detransact. Just gonna copy these in for reference's sake. Tectonic client API SD. Alright. So let's get that into a comment block. Let's save all this stuff. Reference transactions. Okay. So I'm just gonna cheat a little bit. Def demo mail map. Alright. Subject, I think at some point I'll use the subject as a way to tag emails, but I don't think we're there just yet. Alright. So we're gonna say detransact with our connection. We've got one of those, right? Yep, we got one of those. It's at the right time index. It is. With our connection, do I need the DB too? So I've got a connection. Query. You need to specify the DB when querying, but not transacting. I think that's right. Find out if it's wrong later. Okay. So the TX data will be the following. Add new link. This is the temporary ID. Okay. So what would I transact? I need to find the user by their email, and then I need to save the new item, and then I need to tie that user's saved items property to a ref to that saved item. So this is how I do it if I was saving something brand new. So that's like you add a new saved item / text with the URL, and then you bind that to a link. Okay, I think a visit to the docs is going to be what we need. Let's see here. Datomic. Alright. Let's take a deep breath. Transactions. Tutorial. Inventory color. Alright, we transacted a bunch of sample data. Different ways we can retrieve it. Don't really need to retrieve anything. Query. Storing and retrieving data by unique ID is useful. Alright, so I suspect this is going to come into play at some point. Entity IDs, more feature requests. So this is about making components. Though it does feature more features of query. Parameterized query, that's cool. Rules may be useful. Things change over time. Curse my clumsy fingers. We just put some bad data into the system. Retract, implicit retract, history query. Alright. So none of that showed us what we need to do to look up a user by email and then save a new item. So maybe somewhere in transactions or schema, query and pull, reference APIs, Datomic cookbook. Connect to Datomic, early software, cookbooks. I don't know, too useful. Ref for script transactions datomic. Okay, plan for accretion, model relationships in one direction only. Cross schema, never break it. Use aliases. Yeah, here we go. Query for database IDs using an externally unique identifier. Use those database IDs as part of a transactions. Lookup refs flatten this into a single step. With the lookup ref, you can specify an entity directly via an external identifier. Oh, hello. Nice. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so JDo, talk about John. User email. So maybe this becomes the temporary identifier. And can I use it here? Or maybe the temporary identifier is used here. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna add saved items. Where'd that go? User saved items. New saved item. Right, so I guess I need an entity with the email of oh geez, right, that's the wrong file. Never mind. Okay, test at email.com. Okay. So transact with that connection the following data. First I need to make a user ID transact at that connection the following transaction data. db add new user about test user email test user at email.com and all the other fields, so that'd be name, username, password hash, salt. User 1. Alright, I think password hash is salt. We may not need to transact like right now, and saved items we don't have yet, so and let's wrap this in another vector. Let's transact it. Alright, we created him. Now, dummy text. Let's try to add something. To that entity we just created. Alright. Add new saved item. That's the ID, or will become the ID. The text is this. And then we tie that to our newly created test user with this. Alright, let's try it. Attribute value is not unique user email. cardinality one. Not unique. Okay, so these need to be unique. Schema reference. Okay, so here's a bunch of types. URI. Like db/unique. Altering an attribute to be unique. DB unique identity. Only one entity can have a given value for this attribute, and upsert is enabled. Oh wait. Alright. I don't really need to know super specifics about this thing. Okay, so this should definitely be unique. And this should definitely be unique. Alright, so let's transact this schema one more time. Get you into this namespace. Transact you one more time. Oh, unique without index. DB error, unique without index. How to update a schema. Changing schema. DBID index true. Alright, so add an index to everything with an email. Well, easy enough. User email, DB index true. Expected a map. Alright, that updated. User email, username should also have an index. Now we can transact the user schema, I think. Cool. Alright. Alright, so we patched those up. Yeah, it's gonna be a good round to have around. Make adder unique. Use this. Make previously non-unique DB entity attribute unique. E.g. We'll say make header unique username. cool. I'll have the adder. Replace this with adder. I think we should be good. And we're done here. Alright, so now that everything is unique that should be unique, I think I can do this transaction now. Hey, I totally can. Okay, let's look at that test user, eh? DQ. Let's make a query. DQ, right. Still not super familiar with this syntax, so just get a little more practice with that. Find username, saved items, where the entity is user email is this. That same entity's username we'll save to the username variable. That same entity's user saved items we'll call saved items. And then we look for a second entity. Saved item text corresponds to those saved items. Not really sure what I'm doing here. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Bars. Queries referencing unbound variables, saved item values. There we go. What do we get back? Hey! Oh shit. Nice, man. Saved items. User saved items is saved items. And I think it just gave me a map of like all the saved items, right? Test user 1. So can I just like get rid of that and just get the actual text? I think I can. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Dummy text. That's what we saved, right? Yeah, it's totally what we saved. Nice. We got this. Alright, big deal. Now we can both save and retrieve all that information. That's great. Okay, so we have our stub functions. We know they work in the small. And I guess if we just wanted to find all the saved items for a given user's email, that's all we would have to do. Yeah, alright. Great. So let's, don't need this. It's just the creation of a test user. Don't need this, that's just a demo. We do need this because this is what saves the text from our... Okay, well actually, let's work with this just a little bit more because we need to... yeah, because like the idea here is like you send an email and like maybe things are separated by new lines, so it's just like not great. example, but say for instance you couldn't remember what Google was, so you were like www.google.com, but then you wanted to have like recipes.com/gazpacho or something like that. Like maybe there's a few things that you want to save all in one go, so you would separate out those by new lines in your email, and then what we're going to do is we're going to read the email, get all the lines that are separated out by new lines, and save those as individual entities. So I think we should figure out how to save each of these and not just save like one hard-coded string, for example. So I think because what you transact is like vectors of vectors, this is like not going to be that hard to do, but it's poking on some like kind of weak parts of my closure knowledge, which is like quoting. Yeah, do I even need to quote? Do I just need a function that returns? It needs to return a map of maps representing each item from this body array, and then it needs to add like one more array which updates the user with that new saved item text. So maybe it's time to like wrap this in a function with a name. Add so hard to name things. Add email to DB. Now user email. And we're gonna have like a saved items vec, something like that. Okay, so user email becomes the thing that we put here. And then instead of this, what we do is we build that vector. Okay, def transaction is going to be a result of map v. It's probably going to be like a thread, right? So as saved items vec, gonna map v with some function over saved items over that vector, and then we're going to say we're going to create a vector, going to return a vector that looks like that, and each string in there. It's going to go in that position, and then we're going to like conj maybe, I think, either conj or into. Returns new collection with the x's added. Nah, I think we're going to use into. Returns a new collection consisting of the to collection with all the items of the from collection conjoined. Okay, into a empty vector goes whatever we created from that map, and then we're going to have this final thing here. That give us what we want. Alright, def saved items vec. How about we save some pizza and some tacos? Get that into the REPL. Call this function on that temporary def user email test@email.co.gov. Okay, wrong number of args passed to persistent vector. So maybe that's the problem. Nope. Maybe like that. Alright. Never know how to use that. Weird hash function shorthand thing. Should probably learn. You see it absolutely everywhere in Clojure. Key must be integer. Maybe that's right. New saved item, pizza tacos, and then maybe what I wanted was conj after all. Yep, that's it. Okay, there's what we build. Cool. Now I think I can actually call that, right? So add email contents. Alright, so we need one more. Ah man, I'm all goofed. Alright. My comment block is all goofed. Ah, it's just I didn't put that stuff into it. Right, okay, so now I think we're okay. Yes, now we're good. Okay. So the first thing we do is we say let's transaction be the result of doing this stuff to our function arguments. Alright, and then we detransact into our connection. Some transaction data, which consists of the transaction itself. And I think that's all I need. So let's try add email contents to DB. Was that test user? Test user at email.com. That should probably come first. And yeah, let's save some pizza and tacos for real this time. Two datums at the same transaction conflict. Alright. So I think that means I try to give these things the same ID. Right, yeah, I can't go giving the same ID to them. That's not gonna work. So I need to go both give them a unique ID, but I also need to like pass those unique IDs to user saved items, because I can transact multiple of those at the same time, I think. So we said like map indexed, and then vector Map index has index an item. So if I said like string index, and then I said let's take a look at what that gives us. Oh. Into the REPL you go. Alright, just goes back to transaction A. Okay, so we have an item with a temp ID of 1, an item with a temp ID of 0, and then I think I do this in multiple steps is what I do. Yeah, I can make that first array of arrays which have like just the transactions in them. And then I go through, I find those IDs, and then once I have those IDs, I build like the final transaction data with both the items I'm trying to add, the user I'm adding them to, and then in saved items I can have a list of those IDs. I think that's the way to do it. So this is not a transaction, but these are saved item transactions. Alright. So that's the first thing we do. Alright, first variable down. Second variable. Transaction IDs is going to be okay as TX IDs, we're going to do as save down transactions. First thing we're going to do is we're going to map got a map v over those. We're going to say that we want the second item in there. Right, because we got a vector with that second item, so I think that's like gets. Do like get to from vector. Let's give me what I want. Nope. Get from vector index 2. Alright, back to the cheat sheet we go. Index. Access. Oh no, it's a second. There's a function called second. Right? Yeah, there we go. So I want the second item. Map v. Can I just do this? think I can just do that. Yeah, target item. Alright. So, saved item transactions, this goes in transaction IDs, and then we've got our nice handy vector of transaction IDs ready to be saved in our transaction. Okay, let's try that one more time. Let's see what we get. Alright, we've got a list instead of a vector, so let's fix that. Wait, hold on. That's not right. Let's do this the smart way, shall we? As saved items back. What do we get back from this? I get a vector with a list with vectors in it. Map indexed. So that's a list, that's not a vector. It'd be a vector if it had hard braces. I wonder if that's going to be a problem. Well, evidently not. Yeah, let's see if that works. Can we transact it? Cannot interpret as a keyword 0. No leading. No leading colon. Okay. Do I have to do those as individual transactions, I wonder? I might. Not really a problem. Actions, tie to user transaction. It's going to be basically the same function as we had before. We're going to be mapping over the transaction IDs. Be mapping indexed. We're going to be map ving. I think that will give us, yet again, something akin to what we want. Alright, so let's try it one more time. Alright, so we got a vector of vectors. Now I think I went into. Maybe. Yes. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. So instead of trying to wrap those up in a vector of its own, we've got individual transactions for each of those temporary IDs. And now I think this will actually work. I think I said that 7 times already, didn't I? Two datums in the same transaction conflict. Yeah, but they're unique. Yeah, rubber's hitting the road here with the brass tacks, isn't it? Attribute value. Yeah. Maybe the map for him might be a little more useful to me here. So let's just try this detransact with the connection the following transaction data. Okay, user. For this user, yeah, I still have the temporary IDs though. Exact multiple refs at once, datomic. I'm a bit confused. Yeah, so what I was trying before was like 0 and 1. So if I say like zero 1, pizza, tacos. Can't do this. If I can't do this, then I need to find a different way. Not a data function, 75. Oh, right. I read this wrong, didn't I? DB add. Can I interpret as zeros? So I can't do that. I also can't do this. Why are you italic? I don't want that. Holy shit. Oh, I can't do that? What was I doing wrong? I can query for it now. I have tacos and pizza. I tried doing that before. Maybe I didn't do it right. Isn't that what I'm getting from my function now? Save time text 0, save time text 1. Maybe the one needs to come before the other. So I need, wait. Yeah, that could be the same. Same stuff in the same order. That doesn't make no sense. I want these first, damn it. Maybe it has to do with the fact that this is a list. Change list into vector closure. I'm sure this is something I've looked up before. Yep. The sequence cannot be cast. If I just throw a quote on you. That's what I want. And that's the order I wanted it to. Yep. Alright, so let's try this. Two datums in the same transaction conflict. Okay, I just got the... DB add 0, saved item text, pizza and tacos. You know what, I've tried to add this into the wrong spot. That's where it needs to go. Transaction succeeds. Excellent. Now we can query. Should have 2 pizzas and 2 tacos now. Pizza, pizza, taco. Only one taco, huh? Some other stuff. Alright. Some other stuff made it in there. Some other stuff. Excellent. Alright, so we're all good. Somewhat convoluted process getting there. I wonder if there's a smarter way to do what I've just done. It's pretty complicated, but that's maybe in exchange for some complication. I get the simplicity of the data model and the simplicity of the querying language. Alright, so I think like what I need to do now is I need to make this a real function in the real world. Alright, let's just do takes a vector of strings to save, adds them as entities in the DB, and ties the user saved items ref of the given user entity to those newly created entities via the user's email address. Ties the user saved items ref. Alright, great. That'll be enough for me to figure out how this works after the fact. Alright. So we got the body, we got the email map, we got the sender email. Now we call this sender email and the body of the email. Yeah? Okay, so we can try this with our fake request, and then we can try this with what was this test user? Actually, it'll be good to see what happens when I try to do this with a user that does not exist in the email or in the database, right? Because something here you're also supposed to be able to do is ensure the atomicity of your DQ find email where an entity has a user email of mine this database yet. Okay, so let's see what happens when I try to do this with a user who's not in the database. So I think I just get an error back. Alright. Lines, save an email. Sender email in the body. Okay, if we go back to the core and we try that function, this demo request that we still have saved, I hope. OUR is now a valid string for attribute saved item text. That's, yeah, I tried to send the whole string in there. So the email map is going to have what? It's going to have an attribute called body in there, and that's actually what I want to save. All right. Save items. Vector is going to be the body of the email map, and that's what we save. Alright, so we got a different unrelated error from before, but now hopefully we should get a new error saying like, hey, we don't have a user with that email in this database. So let's see if that happens. Unable to resolve entity, excellent. That's what we want. But if we make an entity with that email address, we'll be golden. All right, I could use a little more practices with this API, couldn't I? Detransact with the connection, the following transaction data. Okay, so vector vectors, db add, x user email. Okay, there's my email. Here's my username. Username. So if we transact, I'm in the database. And now if we try that, I think, hey, we got a successful transaction back. Excellent. And now if I transact, or if I search for me, I see my stuff. Oh, hey. Work this time to see what we want and show us. Yep, that's all the stuff. Cool. I'm also getting a bunch of other pizza and tacos. I thought that was for test user. What if I look for all the saved items? DQ find saved items where Okay, user saved items. Sorry guys, got some showers happening. I think that might be kind of loud, but that's okay. Query args must include database. Yeah, so each time I'm just getting a whole list of entities. It's super loud. And what I want is just the entities for a particular user. Alright. Not everyone, I think I'm gonna put this on mute. Should I? Alright, so this is the entity ID. Then we can say like entity 2 username afry. I'm gonna say for e2 users saved items. It's gonna have that. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so that'll give us specifically what that user has saved. Alright. Yeah, I think we're gonna go on mute. Alright, everyone, now we're back. Work this time. I'm still not seeing what I should be seeing. Parsing message using full mode. So that means the email arrived here, I think. And maybe I need to do a little more work here. Alright, handle save email. So when I post to that URL, I call handle save email. There's a function called handle save email here. And maybe I never got past here, because I never called these print line statements. So I think I'm going to have to get back to the point of saving this in a temporary request. Parsing message using full mode. Alright. Start the server one more time. $4.20. No more coffee. Come on, buddy. Alright. Demo. Just one more real world test. Come on, baby. Work. Alright, we should get a log. Alright, so what is the temp request this time? Need to reconnect to my REPL. 771. Alright. I wasn't running the REPL, so I'm not going to have that temp request unless I do. That's exciting. Body of the temp request is a stream. Let me try this one more time. One more time. Let's go. Find the bug. Alright, what is the temp request? It's that. What is the body? Account not supported. HTTP input over HTTP. I've had some kind of disconnect here. Where did params come from? Ring middleware params as params. Okay, so this is how I apply middleware. Params wrap params. Params wrap defaults. Middleware. Read it middleware contains a set of common ring middleware. Do I have that? I don't. Read.ring.middleware. Are you? Can't resolve the symbol we just required, huh? Defaults, wrap defaults. I need something to wrap it in. Something to wrap it in. Oh man. What is this? What is montage? Read it middleware. Okay, sounds like an easier way to do the whole middleware thing with read it. Which I'm kind of wondering if it is worth it to use this library. No such namespace defaults. I think it might have been a better policy to stick with composure. been better. Content negotiation. Getting deeper in with Reddit. It's okay, man. If I can just get a server which will basically do for me all the things that I need to do, then I'm gonna be happy at the end of the day. Get all this stuff in here, wrap params, parameters, middleware, negotiation, response. What if I got rid of all that? Well, it'll still serve that correctly. Can I send an email? Can I send an email yet? You're still running? Yep. Parsing message. All right. So what I was seeing before was this. Okay, what is temp request now? That's what we were trying to solve. think I wanna go back to composure, man. This is so silly. Maybe I did need to slurp the body after all. Alright, do I have a temp request? I do. Do I have a body for a temp request? I do. Can I slurp it? Ah, man, I wonder if I can even get back. I am a reader. Yeah, that's what I had before. Encoding still. Nope. It's gonna be so fast to go back to composure. I think I'm just gonna do that now before I get any deeper into this. So let's just do that real quick. Oh, that's the wrong repo, isn't it? Okay. So handler is gonna have some routes, and then the handler goes into the app. All right. What are the routes I had so far? I had like get, login, and post. Yeah, there's one. There's two. And here's three. So post to login will eventually be handle login. Post to save email will eventually be handle All right. Need the relevant require statements. Get back to HTTP kit again. Require all those. Probably have some duplicate statements somewhere. Definitely got a bunch of crazy syntax going on, so let's fix that. Handler routes. Into the app goes the handler. Okay, there we go, and then instead of Jetty, we want our HTTP kit server. And for that, we can just copy this in. All right. Stop the world. Oh, if I can just get a body from this request that isn't some weird object or stream or buffer or other thing I don't know how to work with, I think I'm going to be really happy. I think the way to get there is just to go back to what I know, which is HTTP kits. Okay, so connect to the REPL. 7071. Let's get this file into the REPL. Let's calm down. Okay, so we got the app, we got the handler. We have handle save email. Handle save email is going to give us a temp request. And after this, I think we'll have something which is a little more sensible to work with. Okay. One more time. Let's just try it and see. Andy C. Andy C, Andy do. Okay. Everything takes longer than you think it will. Eventually we're going to see a log, maybe an exception, maybe nothing at all. Just make sure this works. Of course it doesn't. Yeah, it should, as far as I can see. Alright, just takes a request, returns an object. Huh. $500. Maybe I need those defaults. I have them though. Content type. What was the other stuff I had in my middleware? From pick story. Probably just use all this, can't I? We'll eventually have resources. We need JSON. We need all that eventually. Whoa. Stack Overflow. How about now? Nope. What's the problem, man? Get the handler. Maybe naming handler to handler. It's causing some problems. Yep, that's probably it, right? We start the server, go to the browser, refresh, and we don't get the page, but we do get something. Okay, so now I think I can send an email. And have it work. Hi, hello, one more time. Let's work. Maybe. All right. No more Stack Overflows. Hopefully just a log that I've received the email. Nary a log statement. That's because I'm doing all this crazy stuff. How about I not do all this stuff and just make sure that I'm getting the right body? So now I should just pretty print the request. Okay, so let's see if I can like just see anything when I send an email. Please don't put me on a spam list. This is all just a test. Nothing at all. Very curious. Oh, well, that would do it. URL is no longer valid. All right, back to Lambda. Change that URL. Easy does it, my buddy. Deploy. Changes have been deployed. Email is now send. Hopefully receive. Same Stack Overflow from before. Oh, hello. Okay. Okay. Now we're working with something. Reset the server for good luck. Try the email one more time. Hey, hello. It's parsing. This thing is such a pain. Count not supported on this type. Okay, cool. Now we got something in the temporec, which means we have something we can work with. All right. The body is a bytes input stream. Count not supported. All right. All right, is that it? Definitely missing some middleware here. I don't know why this would change anything, but maybe it will. Now we do is wait. Yeah, guys, I think I have to take a quick break, so I'll be back in like just a couple minutes. Okay, now we're back. I think I gotta go back to school here. To read body of a post message. JSON body, keywords true. Maybe the issue is that I'm sending the string, but I should be sending JSON. I'm sending JSON. JSON stringify. I think I want to go back to my buddy RESTman. Alright, what's my URL? So complicated. Okay. Alright, posting here. I also need a header. Bypass tunnel reminder. Invalid entry forgery token, right. That's why we wanted this. Can't not support on this type. Looked up something from somebody which told me how to work with this stuff. How in practice to send this in the body, or can I send it as a param? Can also be sent as raw text using the post method. Rec bin. Might help if I sent some headers. Yeah, maybe that's where I've been going wrong this whole time. I'm not sending the headers to tell it that it is JSON. Alright. Accept my JSON. I demand you accept my JSON. Could be it. Alright, let's try that. Test hello, no such file or directory. Ooh. Who's the headers all along? The headers were the key. Ooh, there it is. There it is. There's the headers, man. There's the headers. Oh, it seems a little dumb, doesn't it? But, you know what, man? Everything takes longer than you think it will. Okay, so now I know what we need to do. We need to go and change our lambda function to have those headers in it. And to do that, we need to go back here, accept, and content type. Accept content dash capital P T type. There we go. Deploy that ish. Now I think I've got everything I need, right? No, I need to call that function. That's not the body. It's the email of the body, right? One more time to lambda land. Right, email. I don't think I have this in completely right. Let's give it a shot anyway. Alright, get you into the REPL. Get you into the REPL. And now let's try just another email. Just another email. May not work, but it'll be close. Okay. So now we're sending this with our new headers, which I think will solve our super persnickety problems. Or did it? I think it might have. Damn, look at that. I think we got it, guys. Ooh, let's try it. This one. Yes. Look at that. Look at that. May not work, but it'll be close. Another email. Work this time. Yeah, that's totally what I sent. Just another email. May not work, but it'll be close. Yeah, there it is. Alright, cool. Well, it's 5:06. I think I'm done. I think I got everything I need to do done. And now it's time for a little wrap-up work. Alright. Find all saved items for a given user. Okay. Useful, but not sorted. Nice, guys. Yeah, let's take a little moment, right? We just did it, right? We sent an email to our app and we saved it in the database. That's a huge moment. That's really cool. I would have hoped to not spend so much time on that, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Excellent. Cool. Boy, this is a huge mess, but I'm just going to leave it. Okay. Nice. Read email string. I've already got a working version of that elsewhere, so I'll just delete that for the sake of tidiness. No more of this. No more of that. Sorry, read it. It wasn't entirely your fault, but you've failed the test. And we're done. All right, cool. So let's wrap things up, shall we? After trials and tribulations, I finally figured out why my JSON was not up as JSON in the body of my requests. I needed a header in the request that specified the request contains JSON role. However, we did complete the circle of sending an email, parsing it, and saving it in the backend. Huge step. And also refactored from to Composure. More docs, more examples, easier to work with all together, and perhaps most significantly, I have a better feel for how to work with it than read it. Alright, so that's pretty much what we did. For next time, what are we going to do? Make the starting on the front end for the app. Now that we can save content from our emails, we should work on viewing it next. Cool. Not quite how we did. Our first complex-ish datomic writes function save one. It saves one or many new entities in a DB, grabs their entity IDs and associates them with an existing user's saved items attribute. Pretty complicated stuff, but I'll get more comfortable with it as I go along, and the query power of data log / the data model of Datomic will fact that writing to the DB can be a little bit complicated. Alright, cool guys. Yeah, what else did I reference? I referenced the on-prem docs. I also referenced this Learn data log today. Awesome resource for learning data log syntax. And I also posted the on-prem docs, so how about we just post those. Atomic on-prem docs. It's not just an AWS database after all. Alright. Okay, I think we're done. So, anyway, thanks for joining me, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, assuming my second COVID shot does not give me the killer side effects that the first COVID shot did. That's entirely possible, but yeah, if I'm feeling well enough, I'll be working and streaming, so catch you tomorrow afternoon, hopefully. Alright, see you then.